Welcome to Plot Twist, your place for quick summaries of movies with jaw-dropping twists. Let's dive in. The movie starts with two thieves in a museum trying to steal a gemstone. Suddenly, they hear a noise, and at that moment, Bill appears. He gets into a fierce fight with them. As usual, he defeats them easily. After a while, he takes off his suit and goes to meet Ada and William because he had agreed to go to the cinema with them that day. He arrives and apologizes to Ada for being late. Then they go inside and watch the movie. Ada notices that Bill is very exhausted from his work, so much so that he falls asleep in the middle of the movie. After the movie ends, William informs them that he has to leave because he bought a new issue of an electronic magazine and is very excited to go home and read it. After that, Bill and Ada spend some quality time together, but suddenly Bill smells danger nearby. He apologizes to Ada, explaining that he can't continue the day with her because he has to respond to a distress call. Quickly, Bill puts on his suit and rushes to the girl in need. The girl, Maria, is being harassed by two bullies. Bill swiftly defeats them and rescues her. Maria thanks Bill for helping her and tells him she's one of his biggest fans, with his pictures hanging everywhere in her room. She invites him to the school party the next day. Bill smiles at her and agrees. He then leaves. At night, Maria returns home and meets her humble inventor father. He tells her he has invented a new suit that makes the wearer invisible. He demonstrates by putting on the suit, but Maria tells him she can still see him, calling his invention a failure like always. Her father becomes very disappointed and decides to stop inventing altogether. Maria then goes to her room, thinking about Antboy all night and feeling excited to meet him at the party. The next day at school, Bill notices Ada from afar talking to a boy named Christian. He becomes jealous and goes to talk to her, asking who he is. Ada explains that he's just a friend she met that day to help organize the party. Bill decides to attend the party with Ada because he's jealous and doesn't want her to get close to any other boy. The next day, Bill prepares to meet Ada at the party, but William calls him, informing him about a robbery at a bank and that he needs to come immediately to catch the criminals before they escape. Bill sends a message to Ada, apologizing that he can't meet her right now and asking her to go ahead to the party because he might be late. Meanwhile, Maria is very excited to meet Antboy at the party. She puts on her best dress, and when her father sees her, he gets emotional because she looks just like her late mother. He tells her that her mother would have been very proud of her if she were still alive. After a while, Maria arrives at the party and waits for Antboy for a long time, but unfortunately, he doesn't show up. At the same time, Bill arrives at the party and apologizes to Ada for being late. However, Ada doesn't accept his apology because it's not the first time this has happened. When Bill senses he's not welcome, he leaves the party. Maria, standing alone at the party, feels very sad because Antboy lied to her and didn't come. When she returns home, she tears up all his pictures and breaks everything around her in anger. The next day, Maria wakes up to find a note from her father asking her to throw away the invisibility suit because it's no longer useful to him. Maria takes the suit and throws it in the trash. At that moment, something strange happens. The suit activates and becomes invisible. Maria then gets a strange idea. She makes some modifications to the suit, puts it on, and decides to take revenge on Bill in her own way. Meanwhile, we see Jim in a prison in Denmark, thinking about how to get revenge on Antboy once he gets out. On the other side, we see twin brothers standing in front of Jim's house, deciding to go inside to see if the rumors about him conducting crazy experiments are true. When they enter, they notice the house looks creepy and old. One of the twins sees a strange device and presses its buttons randomly, which opens a secret door leading to Jim's laboratory. When they enter, they are surprised by the amount of plants and insects around them. One of the twins picks up a jar containing a hybrid insect, and as soon as he opens it, the insect stings him. The other twin tries to catch the insect to put it back, but it stings him too. At the same moment, the guys start to feel symptoms of dizziness and nausea, which is exactly what happened with Bill before he gained superpowers. The next day at school, Christian goes to ask Belle to stay away from Ada because he loves her, and they know that she will never look at someone like him because he is a failure and does not have friends. Then he leaves him and walks away. After the school day ends, Bill goes to ride his bike to return home, but on the way, he sees two twin boys rioting in the street, and they do not care about anyone. Bill quickly goes to put on his suit and prepares to fight them, but he is shocked when he finds them much stronger than him. He looks into the eye of one of them and notices that it has turned yellow, confirming that they have gained superpowers. However, they suddenly lose their strength because they did not eat anything that would give them energy, so they quickly leave the place. At the same moment, we see Maria wearing the invisibility suit and watching the Antboy from the top of the tree. She is shocked when she discovers that the Antboy is Bill himself, the one who attended the school party. She becomes even angrier because he was present at the party and still broke his promise to her and did not meet her. The next day, Bill goes to tell William what happened to the twins, and he thinks that Jim is the one who turned them into ghosts, but William tells him that this is impossible because he is already in prison. After a while, Bill decides to confess his love to Ad before it is too late, but at that moment, a hidden force appears and takes off his clothes. Of course, the whole school laughs at him, and Bill gets very angry and runs quickly. After that, Bill returns home and goes to sit in his room, frustrated. Suddenly, Bill's toys start moving and flying in a strange way. Bill gets very scared and runs to William's house, where they try to figure out what happened to him. William suspects that Jim's mother's ghost is responsible because Jim was the reason for her son going to prison. Then William gives Bill some tools so that he can determine the location of the ghost. These tools include a device that detects electromagnetic movements and harmful heat, through which he can see creatures that cannot be seen with the naked eye. The last tool is a voice recorder that allows him to hear sounds from the other world. That night, Bill stays up in his room using these tools in case the entity attacks him again so he can fight back. The next day at school, William uses the thermal goggles and is able to see the creature chasing Bill. He discovers that she is human and not a ghost as he originally thought. He quickly goes to tell Bill what happened, and they both attempt to expel her using the tools. However, Maria is able to escape from them and reaches her house. Bill follows her, completely unaware of her real identity. Suddenly, Maria's father arrives at the house, and Bill assumes that he is the one chasing him. He starts threatening him to stay away, but at that moment, Maria steps in to defend her father. In a moment of panic, she throws a bookshelf at Bill, injuring him and forcing him to be taken to the hospital. After a while, Maria visits Jim in prison and tells him that she wants revenge on Bill because he lied to her and hurt her feelings. She asks for his help because she is sure that he also wants to get rid of Bill. Jim, knowing her vengeful personality, agrees to help her. He tells her that there are two twin boys who can assist her because they have been obsessed with him for a long time and also hate Bill very much. They went to school with Bill, and Jim had once promised them that he would help them gain powers if they managed to get rid of Bill. However, Jim later learned that they had already been bitten by the insect and gained supernatural powers that are much stronger than Bill's. But in order to complete their transformation, they need a special plant juice to maintain their strength. At the same time, Bill visits Ada at her house, but is shocked to see her playing guitar with Christian. At that moment, Bill feels very disappointed, and he decides to withdraw from her life quietly. The twins are sitting together, thinking about how to get rid of Bill. Suddenly, they hear a noise in the place, so they go to see what's happening. Suddenly, they hear a voice speaking to them, introducing itself as someone who looks like Jim's mother. The voice threatens them to fulfill all its demands or else they'll be harmed. But in reality, the one speaking to them is Maria, who decided to play this trick to scare them into obeying her orders. Later, Maria gives them plant juice and orders them to drink it. At that moment, their strength returns. The next day, we see Mia sneaking into Bill's room and stealing the sugar from his suit, so he loses his energy when he tries to fight her. After a while, Bill wakes up and goes to check on her through the window of her house. Suddenly, he loses his balance and falls to the ground. At that moment, shadows appear before him and make him disappear. Later, we see William sitting in his house. He receives a video of Bill being kidnapped and tortured. Quickly, William calls his assistant and tells her what happened, asking for her help to save Bill. They both go to the house where their friend is being held. They cut the electricity, and using thermal goggles, they locate Bill. They rush to free him and move him to another safe place. Bill discovers that his sugar has been stolen and doesn't know what to do to regain his energy. At that moment, Ada appears before them to check on Bill, but suddenly Maria comes from behind her, drags her into another room, and locks her inside. William goes to get sugar for his friend to regain his strength. A while later, Maria returns to the room where Bill is and starts throwing whatever she finds at him in anger. However, Bill manages to evade all the attacks. Bill hears Maria's voice, telling him she will take revenge on him because he humiliated and demeaned her, even though she loved him deeply and was willing to do anything for him to reciprocate her feelings. But Bill still cannot recognize her voice, so he uses his sense of smell. At that moment, he discovers it is Maria and understands why she has been chasing him and seeking revenge. Bill feels guilty and apologizes to her for what he did to her, telling her he understands her feelings because he is going through the same crisis and knows how painful it is to feel rejected by someone you love. Maria is moved by his words and runs to the bathroom, breaking down in tears. After a while, one of the twins appears before Bill and attacks him, knocking him to the ground. Meanwhile, the other twin tries to stop William from reaching the sugar, but William manages to outsmart him by setting a trap, slamming his head into the refrigerator door. On the other hand, the fight between Bill and the second twin continues. Bill is on the verge of defeat when Maria, hearing the commotion outside, regains her senses and decides to save Bill. She quickly deactivates her suit and reveals her true form, ordering the second twin to stop fighting. She threatens him, saying she won't give him any more plant juice if he disobeys her, but the boy tells her he's not afraid of her threats because he knows where the drink is and has managed to make a large quantity of it. He orders her to disappear before him immediately or he'll harm her. The second twin then goes to finish off Bill, but at that moment, William appears from behind and strikes him on the head. However, the blow doesn't affect him. The second twin turns to finish William, but he finds him gone. We learn that Maria hid him in the suit and gave him chocolate to regain his energy. After a while, Bill emerges from the invisibility suit, engages in a battle with the second twin, and defeats him with a single blow. Bill then goes to rescue Ada, who is unconscious. He becomes very worried about her and breaks down in tears, leaning close to give her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. At that moment, Ada wakes up and thanks Bill for saving her. Later, Bill apologizes to Maria for hurting her feelings. Maria tells him that she was the one in the wrong and apologizes for all the trouble she caused. She promises never to wear the invisibility suit again and even says she will destroy it so no one else will think of wearing it. However, Bill stops her, saying he has a better idea. After some time, everything returns to normal. We see Bill and Ada sitting together in the skating rink and watching Maria and Yam come sliding together, and suddenly an emergency call comes to Bill. Ada tells him to go quickly and answer the call, but Bill tells her that Maria is the one who will do this mission. So Maria quickly puts on her suit and arrests a dangerous criminal before he escapes. We now find out that Maria has joined Bill's team and decided that she will be a real superhero. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification button so you never miss an updates. See you